Belica has been a very strong caster for a very long time. She has a really solid kit, and she synergizes with a lot of other heroes. Now in this deck and guide, I'm taking a look at Belica and how can she still do a good amount of burst damage, as she is a burst caster, while still bringing a good amount of utility for her team. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a hero build and guide. I am Sylphin. So we're taking a look at Lieutenant Belica, the LT. Yes, I say Lieutenant. I'm Canadian. So we start with the Archmagus here because she's a caster meant to do damage. In the early game, have a ton of options. A ton. I would recommend a healer token and a mana potion if you're up against somebody that's not really going to harass you all that much, like maybe a Shinbi or one of the other kind of melee-ish mid laners, or a health potion and healer token if somebody's really going to harass you, like a Morigesh. We have another healer token for a Morigesh, 2 mana potions if you want to pick those up. Cast tokens, really up to you what you want, especially against who you're coming up against in the mid lane. After that, you absolutely get the Sage's Ward 100%. You need that in the mid lane, guaranteed. After that, a burst engine with some spark because you absolutely need it. Casters have that issue in the early game, so you need it. After this, an Adamant Edge for some health and a cast converter as an option that you can get whenever, just to help against that Morigesh. After that, we go into the end game deck, which is the Elder Mage Amulet, a Lt.Blink, a Stasis Gem, a Thick Blood or a Tainted Magic, depending on which one. If you need a Thick Blood, you get it. If you don't, Tainted Magic, and an Infinity Stream, we'll talk about later, and then your early game Sage's Ward. Infinity Stream, Tainted Magic, or a Thick Blood, Stasis Gem, Lt.Blink, and Elder Mage Amulet. Now, here in the early game, we start off with a mana potion and a healer token because we're up against another Belica. You can get that health potion for whatever you need. Really, it's all up to you. The first ability that I choose to get here is the Seismic Assault. Now, what Seismic Assault does is it's a line of energy that deals ability damage and applies a knock-up stun. Now, it does 60 to 180 ability damage, 0.625 power scaling. It can add up when the whole damage burst is done. Mana cost of 80 to 110. You have to think about it. And the knockup duration is 0.7 to 1.9 seconds with a range of 1600. The cooldown's fairly large, so you have to think of really when do I need to use it to secure kills, secure combos, etc., etc. Very important. Why is it the first card or first ability that I get? Simply so that I can stun somebody if there's any early game shenanigans, any early game ganks or anything, just because that's the safest option. You can use this to layer on crowd control, to peel for your allies, to set up your own wombo combo between your Seismic Assault and your Void Bomb. Very, very effective ability that you need to think about. You really have to think about when you use it. It has a fairly long range, and the animation is pretty darn quick, so it can be quite reliable throughout the match. The next ability that I get is the Void Bomb. It's an AoE bomb that detonates after 1 second, dealing ability damage and restoring mana for each enemy hit. Deals 80 to 260 damage with the first upgrade, bringing it up, almost doubling its damage to 140. So it's very important that you upgrade that that ability first here. I choose to get the stun here. I'm not too sure why I chose to do that. Maybe I was relying on my Kwang here that could use that extra stun duration. The mana cost here is, again, significant. You have to really think about when you use the abilities for Belica. The mana restored per hit, 12.5 to 20. It really, really works well on large groups of minions, so you can actually use it fairly liberally on large groups of minions. Power scaling is 1 with a cooldown of 6 and a cast range of 1300, so it can deal damage and be fairly reliable if you can place it down well. Again, trying to lead people, trying to prevent them from going places, you can use it to great effect. Seismic Assault into your Void Bomb, very reliable, consistent sort of damage that works really well. Now the last ability that I get here is the Void Drone. What happens is, you can see me use it there actually. You place down a large AoE drone that drains mana per second from enemy heroes. The drone will attack enemies within its zone, dealing ability damage whenever they use an ability. Enemies can destroy the drone, taking damage like a ward. So it deals 30 to 90 ability damage whenever somebody uses an ability within its range. The mana cost, it's lower than the other abilities, but it has a large cooldown of 40 seconds. The power scaling is pretty low, just because, well, it can deal a lot of damage if you use it correctly in a team fight and everybody's using abilities. It can actually add up to be quite a good bit. The mana drain per second is 2 all the way up to 5%. So on a caster, it actually ends up draining quite a bit. It's a lot of mana that you can drain from casters, so it is fairly significant. The drone health is 200 to 725. Carries can absolutely just melt through it. Everybody else has to take some time, so you have to be careful with where you put down this drone and when. It does grant CXP when destroyed 60, so you don't set it out willy-nilly so that enemies can just farm off of it. So in this early game here, you can see that we got our ward immediately with some power, and I grabbed a health potion just because we're really actually getting quite pressured here in the mid lane, and I've been doing okay. Haven't died yet. We've been holding off this mid lane. It's worked quite well. This healer token has been amazing. The mana potion and health potion has been amazing. Definitely really helps in this early game get a good amount of sustain and keep that farm up, which is really important. Now, in terms of upgrading abilities, you can see I was a bit strange in this game. Don't do what I do. Upgrade your Void Bomb first, just because, again, that damage almost doubles. Then upgrade your Seismic Assault, because its stun duration increases, which is tremendously valuable in a team fight, in anything, really in anything, because it has a ton of value that your friendly team can really help, you know, secure kills. It's very valuable, so upgrade your Q, your Seismic Assault, and your Void Bomb. Kind of prioritize your bomb, your Seismic Assault, and then your drone for sure. And of course, always upgrading your ultimate when possible. Her ultimate is very interesting. It's called Neural Disruptor. Deals damage based on target's mana. Each point of power increases the base multiplier. So the damage per point of missing mana is 0.7 to 0.9 damage for every point of missing mana, plus 0.15% for each point of power. So it ends up being, like, on your average amount of power, ends up being about 1.05, 1.1 points of damage for every mana that's missing. It's a lot. It's a lot. The cooldown is 100 to 50 at level 3, so you can use it quite a bit. And the mana cost is 100, so it's fairly reliable, but you can use it to absolutely disintegrate people, like I think I do here, if I remember correctly. No, I'm not sure why. Oh, I didn't have enough mana. That is why. I didn't have enough mana there to finish her off, as, you know what, it's a fantastic anti-caster tool against a Countess. It's fantastic on. Her abilities cost a lot of mana against a Shinbi. Anybody that has, any caster really has a large mana pool, and that you can manage to drain, maybe with your Void Drone, oh boy, you can delete people from the face of the planet with Neural Disruptor. So as a mid laner, it's your duty to grab the river buffs. A, because you don't want the enemy team to take it. B, it can increase your sustain in lane by giving you mana. And C, it also helps for your jungler. If it's more appropriate for them to take it, they can get it and do good ganks. You're also responsible for ganking the off lanes. Your off lane or your safe lane, really, it's your job. I haven't really been doing that, and as you can see, my off lane is already taken over, and my safe lane is actually gone as well. We have their mid lane, their mid lane tier 1, so it's okay, but you have to rotate, and Belica is pretty darn good. Seismic Assault into a Void Bomb works really well as an initial tool here to get some good damage. Place down the drone. Works really well. Finish it off with an ultimate. She's a pretty good ganker, so make sure that you do it. Pay attention to the map. If the enemy team is, you know, coming right on your tail, don't hesitate to really get over there and make a good kill. It is your job. As you can see here, I've gotten my stasis gem first of all things, because the enemy team here is pretty terrifying. Steel ult, a Revenant of Scar into an Obliterate, the Belica ult, Kwang ult, Serath nonsense. It's terrifying. So I've gotten the stasis gem so I can, when the enemy, I mean, they have great initiation. The Revenant can just isolate me whenever the hell he wants. The Kwang can root me and ult me and everything like that. So whether I like it or not, I'm going to be isolated and taken out. That's why I got the stasis gem, so I can be invulnerable for 2.5 seconds, make sure my seismic assault and my void bombers may be up, boom, stun them, hopefully get out of there alive. So the big thing about Belica is that she has no escapes. None of her abilities help her escape, besides maybe a seismic assault, which you saw in the Kwang back there. You have to play it safe. You really have to be in your backline and really be cautious. Your seismic assault into a void bomb with a well-placed drone that's kind of off to the side or right in the middle of the battlefield if you really want to. Just because if you put it there at a good time, you can kind of, you know, the enemy team will kind of just forget about it because it's in the middle of a team fight. Your seismic assault into a void bomb can work really, really well to take out high priority targets that, you know, kind of overextend, or you just kind of go a little bit forward to take out. So here in this engagement, you can see I'm being a little aggressive at times. I used my ult there on the Kwang. He had low health, but again, he's a fighter, so he doesn't really have much of, he doesn't really have that big of a mana pool. I'm kind of being careful, but also choosing when to step forward a bit to land a good seismic assault into a void drone on a high priority target. I'm going to have to focus down the Revenant and the Serath 100% because they're the carriers. They're going to deal a lot of damage. So I really need to make sure that I'm safe enough so that I can just throw things out, do some basic attacks, but then maybe, if needed, step forward just a bit to land a good seismic assault and void drone on a void bomb on high priority targets. So again, because this enemy team has such a huge potential to isolate me out, take me out, just nuke me down, look, we are going into our Adamant Edge and our Elder Mage Amulet. It's a good amount of, where am I? It's a good amount of health that we definitely need. Again, we don't have our Teleblink 2 yet, but that doesn't help you in a bad situation. So bad situations are going to happen just because of the enemy team comp, and I have to take that into account. Again, there are those options here, the Adamant Edge and the Elder Mage Amulet, which you keep for the rest of the game. Belica has pretty good wave clear and sustain with her Void Bomb, again granting you mana back on kills, so I have really no problem here keeping this lane wave at bay. So again, on Belica, trying to play it safe, but taking out high priority targets. This Revenant here isolates our phase, and I'm like, nope, I get the sense that he's not gonna win the duel there immediately, and I take him out just like that. Seismic Assault and Void Bomb, some basic attacks, kaboom, he's dead. I don't go charging forward into the backline, but we take it out, and there we go. I do that. I miss the Seismic Assault, but I land that. Nice few kills there. Is a good pick-me-up here as we take out this enemy team. Some smart play by my part, trying to save my phase, take out high priority targets at the same time, and just using that great combo, Seismic Assault into Void Bomb. So here's a good example of how Stasis Gem can work. It doesn't work here because then the friendly phase here, I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I'm getting collapsed on. My enemy team's right there. I don't know why they don't come and help me, but that Stasis Gem saved me. I could have been pulled by the phase. I don't know what was going on. Perfect example of mitigating some damage, some of those abilities there, and giving my friendly team the opportunity to save me, or to just utilize that time that the enemy team is wasting focusing on me when I'm invulnerable. So now that we have our Infinity Stream that gives us a good mana back when we use our mana, we can do ridiculous plays like that pretty much all the time. The good Seismic Assault on 2 people, a Void Bomb completely destroys that Revenant. And Belica, whoever that was, yeah, that was the Belica. We're dealing some good damage now. Little bit of ability pen on here, starting to be become it is going to become relevant soon. So we have to take that into consideration. Look at that great ice, just Seismic Assault Void Bomb on high priority targets can swing those battles so good. And that's what Belica really does well. I've said that a gazillion times already, just because I think that really is her thing. That really is her thing. You know, being just a good caster, being able to really reliably put damage on high priority targets whenever you need it. And that's really what she's all about. So this is a pretty good siege of the enemy inhibitor, and watch a few things that happen. You'll see the Infinity Stream go to town. This Steel, I see that he's been taking some damage, so I'm like, my Seismic Assault and Void Bomb will do well. Destroy the snot out of him. Our Kwang kind of dives in deep, not sure why. I missed the fact that their Kwang's going hard into our backline. And at this point, I tried to Seismic Assault Void Bomb the Revenant, but I miss for whatever reason. You can see 9.1 mana regen thanks to that Infinity Stream, very valuable. And of course, then Orb Prime kicks in. Now watch this Serath as she tries to engage hard. I'm like, nope, high priority target, kaboom, kaboom, completely obliterated. Belica, she is kind of supportive in that way. She can either, you know, help peel for her teammates like that with Seismic Assault and kind of harass them like, nope, get away, or be a great initiator, kind of. Definitely doesn't initiate by herself, but at least can just focus somebody down like that and just be very tremendous. So here I really want to grab them. I'm like, I want this Revenant, but I'm like, oh, I missed that. I could take him out so easily right now. I have my ultimate up as well. I'm like, but I miss a Seismic Assault. And subsequently then don't get the right click. Here, I remember I forget all about my stasis gem. That would have definitely worked there. My phase could have pulled me back. You gotta use it. Here is the beginning of the end here as we finish off the game. Now watch as my Thick Blood works tremendously on this Steel. I probably should have gotten Thick Blood a little bit earlier in most scenarios, as you'll probably need it, because there'll be a phase and everything else. But watch as that Quenching Scales, basically, I didn't really see it do anything on that Steel, as its effectiveness is reduced by our Thick Blood there. Finish him off with a good ultimate. We got a few picks there. I got a good Seismic Assault off on the Kwang. That's why he wasn't there. And then again, look at me securing that kill with the stun. Very, very effective. What can I say? We finally get our Tainted Magic in, because I was like, I can get both actually. And I think I remember I screwed up. I screwed up this deck. Yes, I did. I put the Infinity Stream here in an active slot, and I need the slot here for the Lt.Belica, because I'm only supposed to get one, so I kind of screwed that up. So I kind of did the best I could with the Thick Blood and Tainted Magic. Worked out. Lt.Belica wasn't terribly useful, but as you can see, I had 7 CP left over. So my mistake there ended up working out okay. Tainted Magic or the Thick Blood, just so that you can eliminate that healing there. Quite nicely. Tainted Magic, obviously, just to add some more damage to your burst, if you don't need Thick Blood. So there you guys go. That is my deck for Belica. Very good amount of utility. So make her kind of just a viable member of a team. It kind of does some very important things, but also still deals some good amount of damage. That Infinity Stream has 3 major penetrations on it. So yeah. She does a good amount of damage, some health on that Elder Mage Amulet, with that great utility options for her and the other cards. So that is my deck for Belica, guys. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments if you guys like this deck and what I have to say about how to play her. Please like the video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, share it with the community, guys, and of course, subscribe. If you guys like this content, especially if you found it useful, please subscribe. Consider supporting me on my Patreon account, as I would love to be able to help you out in the future. Till next time, like always, guys, stay optimistic and positive.